Hello everyone, I'm back for another update on my railroad. I am Alex. I go by Alex the Railroader as well on this channel. And I want to show you what I've gotten so far. So first of all, forgive my beat up table. It's very old and I haven't had a chance to sand it down and refinish it yet. But anyway, I have here a really rare locomotive. This is a Bachmann 244 Forney style locomotive. They made quite a few of these several years ago, and unfortunately, they don't make them anymore. So a lot of collectors have gone and acquired them, and most collectors have went on to chop them up and then build new locomotives out of them. And unfortunately, this is like one of the few examples of the locomotive that is left. So anyway, it's really difficult to find, especially on eBay. You only see these go up maybe I don't know, once every couple of months, and even then they're quickly snatched up, and they're usually sold for about $350. I was able to acquire mine for approximately $160. I don't even know how I managed to do that, but I did. So anyway, it's really a quite beautiful looking Forney. It's in great condition compared to the price I bought it for. And it would probably be difficult to even show you, but inside there's a lot of details in the cab. The windows can open and shut. I have really big fingers. I can't do that. But yeah, the doors can open and shut. And there's an actual, like a little rope for the bell, stuff like that. So the details on it are just spectacular. And I heard it's got an LED light. I have yet to run this locomotive, although I was told it runs beautifully. So let's hope it does. And I'll show you in a minute. But to compare this locomotive to the one I got a couple weeks ago, this is a Baldwin 042 Porter style locomotive. It is also ON30 scale as well. As you can see, it is about half the size of this Forney locomotive. And I actually really do love both these engines. I'm really glad I was able to acquire them. These are actually the exact two engines I wanted in the first place. So I have been extremely lucky with acquiring these. Anyway, but yeah, and so to give you a good idea of how big the Forney is, this car here is almost 10 inches long. So, and this Forney is about, I was told it's about 8 inches long. So, yeah, it's a pretty large locomotive. Anyway, and then finally, the last of my current collection is this Durango and Silverton caboose here, which has amazing detail underneath. Just amazing. Anyway, I'll be setting up these trains on this temporary track that I set up on the floor here. Again, excuse the mess of my house. But yes, so let's get to that. Alright, so I tried running the Forney on the track and it wouldn't run. At first I thought, well, you know, this is DCC with sound on board, so it might require a lot more electricity, or maybe it wasn't, this is one of the older ones that wasn't manufactured to have dual mode. But then when I popped off the coal load and the tender to check out the board, you probably can't see it, but in there are copper wires that the bottom truck there is powered, or in the sense that it picks up electricity, and it's supplied into the board with what am I trying to say? It's supplied into the board with wires that are not I don't know what I'm trying to say here. They're not covered in rubber. You know, they're not they're not covered. They're just exposed copper, and it's way down in there. And I think it's shorting out the system. I think the guy must have altered this. I, I, I don't, I don't know how, and I don't know what he did, but I think he altered it somehow, and that's what's going on. And I don't see a speaker in there. I might be wrong, but beneath this truck is supposed to be a speaker that is located inside of the tank, and I don't see the speaker. So, and I've yet to pop off the board to see if there's a speaker under there. Because I don't actually have a screwdriver that small, I don't think. I'm still looking, so I'll check back in a few minutes. Alright, so after tinkering around a bit and resoldering some wires and stuff, I basically, as you know, took out the little DCC decoder and wired it for DC, and now it runs. So it's hard to see because it's really dim in my house, and even during the daytime it's still hard to see a black locomotive, even in daylight. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to show you better views of this locomotive, but it's running smoothly. Right now I have it at speed 45, which doesn't really mean anything, but nevertheless, I'm very happy with it. Now, there's one thing that I did wrong, which is when I wired it, I forgot that the LED at the headlamp is not designed to be directly powered from the track. It needs a resistor. But as soon as I turned on the power to the track, the LED bulb just blew. So it's gone. But the train runs, and that's really all I want from it. I can always fix the headlamp in the future. Maybe do it incandescent bulb or something. But anyway, I got it to work. Alright, so I've been working on this all day. I took out the DCC decoder chip because I don't really trust that it works, and it might not be designed for dual layouts like a DCC plus a DC. So because I don't know that, and I don't know how these things work, and I don't even need to use one, I took it out and it's gone. So what I worked on today was insulating the feeder wires that go from the little truck underneath the tank here, and insulating them. So I think the previous insulation burned off because I think whoever installed this DCC chip just overloaded it, and the wires got hot and burned off their own insulation. So I went and got this liquid electrical tape from Home Depot. This one is green. I accidentally bought green. I meant to buy black, but oh well. So anyway, I coated them, the wires, with this green rubber stuff, and that insulates it. It'll take another 24 hours for it to fully cure, but it'll stay flexible, so that way these wires can move, because the truck underneath slides around, and the wires will need to move around inside this little cavity here. I wired the rest of the wires properly. Each individual function, such as the motor, or even the power pickups for the drivers, and even the headlamp, all have a supply and return, and so all those had to be wired correctly, and then I soldered it. I have a hot soldering iron there. Soldered it all together. Now, I let it run for a test run, and the headlamp blew out. It looks to me like it was an LED, I think, but I blew out the LED because I forgot that it needs a resistor to resist the electrical current. So, oh well, I can fix that later. I just wanted to make sure that the motor in this thing still works, and now I do. So without any further ado, some footage of me running it. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put the whole locomotive back together. I've hooked it up to the rest of the train. All I have is a passenger car and a caboose. That I've already bought 2 more gondola cars, which will be coming pretty soon. But let me go ahead and show you what I've done. Sorry, I have to use my phone flashlight because it's really dark in here despite how bright my lights are. So, alright, so as you can see, this is a 43.5 inch on-center diameter curve. Okay, so that's pretty normal for HO. But with the Forney, the couplers are almost reaching their limit as to how far they can reach. Not quite yet, so I wonder if the turns are any tighter, would this have a negative effect on the Forney's turn radius? I don't want to use the Forney to push trains. That's not why I got it. I want it to pull trains. So I'll have to see where that goes. Now I'll go ahead and turn on the track so you can see the train running. We'll go ahead and turn it to speed 45. I don't really know if those speeds mean anything, but so there you have it. Now, I would take more footage for you, but this train is on the floor, and I can't sit on the floor for that long. You'll just have to wait till I get my layout, which should be pretty soon, maybe a week or 2, maybe 3 at most, and then I can have this up on a shelf, and you guys can see it run in its full glory. But I'm not gonna kneel down for that long. But anyway, I got it to work. Everything's functioning the way I want it to, aside from the headlamp, which burnt out. But yes, so this is a success. Now I just need to test the limits to see how tight this train can turn on a turn radius before it starts throwing cars off the track. All right. Thanks for joining me, everyone.